Okay, to start the swords for Deathstroke, you want to, first of all, buy one of these. It's upside down, 1 second. One of these yardsticks from Home Depot. They are like about $1, 98 cents, something like that. They're really, really cheap for really, really good wood. So what you want to do to this is make it look like this. By any means necessary, you can use sandpaper, or you can use a grinder, or you can use a Dremel. I found out that the grinder works the best. You just have a little bit left over, all the little orange. If you want to get that off, you can just use sandpaper. But the grinder works the best and the fastest. So basically, grind all this off because it sticks out. It's a little bumpy. That's why you have to sand it off. So sand off both sides of these, and then we can actually start on making the sword itself. Okay, so before you start to actually make the real sword, you have to kind of signify where you want your handle and the blade on this piece of wood here. So I made this handle larger because I want to make it kind of like a two-handed katana, but more kind of militarized with the hard slant coming up here with the point. So now that I have all this measured out and put down on the wood, I can actually cut or angle cut with the grinder or sandpaper to try to make the sword edged, basically. And you can do it on both sides, on the top side and the bottom side. You can do it on this side and this side. You can do it pretty much whatever you want. You can design this thing whatever you want. But this is what I'm doing. And let's see what happens next. And just as easy as sanding anything else on this sword, I sanded down the handle, or the wooden part of the handle. The PVC fits on, and I actually fixed up the PVC real nice to make it smooth on both ends. If you're curious to know how I did that, you can watch my video on how I made my own lightsaber using a piece of PVC. I'll link that in the description below. But now let's move on to the next part of this sword. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do with this sword is I drew on this design. Specifically, this one right here goes up, little triangle, and then across. I just have these other lines here for purposes to make it look exact on the other side, but don't worry about those. I Dremeled it with this little Dremel head right here. And don't go all the way through because there's like this hole right here that's easy, that can be patched up, but make sure not to press too hard or else it'll go all the way through. Just do this on both sides, and this line here will actually be painted orange. So that's an orange little decal that you can add to the handle if you want to. So the last two pieces on this sword are, I made this end pommel piece, which is a little curved, and this will go in the bottom of the sword. I also sanded off most of the texture on the bottom so you don't see it. The other piece I made was a hilt, and I just made a circular piece of foam, also shaved off the bottom of this so there's no more texture, and I just cut a slit down the middle, and you'll just slide this up until here onto the handle. Now that the whole sword is basically done, you can actually glue it. And I'm going to use, of course, some of my contact cement. I will just put on the hilt first, put the glue on the inside of the hilt, put the glue on here, then put the glue on the side of, or the sides of the handle, then put the glue on the insides of here as much as you can. Then put the glue on the bottom of here, and then the glue on the bottom of here. And you can even put some glue on the bottom of here too. And then in the order of actually putting them on, you want to put this one on first, the hilt on first, then the handle, and then the pommel. I'm now gluing these parts down. When I wore it and I figured out the right length with taking out the sword and then putting it back, with some help, of course, because putting it back is really hard. Don't expect to be able to do it yourself. But once you find the right length, just glue it to the sheath itself, the leather. Once you are finished painting the sword, I did orange here and here, just silver down here. Then you are done. If you would like to create a sheath for it to slide into your back, this is how I made the sheath. This was actually a strap from a golf bag that carries your golf clubs that I had lying around, and I added an extension to it with a buckle on the front and then on the other side so it wraps around your shoulder. And then I just glued on these leather strips to wrap around the strapping. For the casing itself, what I ended up using was, for the sides, you can see it is made out of Avafoam. And for the back and the top, I used craft foam. You can get a good look. For the back, I used a roller, For the top, I had used craft foam. And it makes a nice casing, which I ended up gluing, like I had said, to these straps and then to the holster itself, so that it would wrap around your back or chest, whichever way you want, so you can take it out. So here it is, the final sword product. Please, guys, if you like how this was done, please like, comment, and subscribe for more of the Deathstroke costume. You can even do the same exact tutorial and make a knife. I did it exactly the same way, it's just shorter. So now you can have a knife as big as you want, as small as you want, and then to go with your sword. So there's that. Thanks, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.